The Honourable Minister of State, Labour, Employment and Productivity, Barrister Festus Keyamo. The Honourable Minister of State Education. On this note, I would like to humbly invite the Honourable Minister of State Education.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, leadership. But just to continue to say that what Honourable Festus Keyamo, Minister of Labour, has actually posited represents all of our views at this point, and it would not. I wouldn't like to elaborate further or expand further. I would think we keep ourselves within the confines of that preliminary statement. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister of State Education.
To Mr. Speaker, the same day we did a letter to the Senate President. Our letter dated 14th October 2019. Unfortunately, while we were able to meet briefly with the Senate President, we are not privileged to meet with you. In that letter, we had actually catalogued issues that culminated into this action. But I'll come back to that. Let me quickly respond briefly while thanking the Minister of State for Labour and the Minister of State for Education for their preliminary remarks that we are not starting a fresh strike. We are continuing from where we stopped. On 7th February 2019, we signed a memorandum of action. The difference for us between memorandum of action and memorandum of understanding is that for our memorandum of action, every item has role assigned and timelines attached. We found that for much of last year, nothing concrete was done about the memorandum of action. And that caused us to write 3 letters sequentially, restating some of this. Of course, we understood that somewhere along the line, the cabinet was dissolved and the Honourable Minister of Education was away for some months. But immediately he came back. We wrote and we stated the issues, and we called on the Honourable Minister of Education. The Minister of Labour was there. The Minister of Education was there. And other officials of government were there. We left that meeting with the impression that there should be follow-up actions on our demands. But Mr. President, in his concluding statement, told the Honourable Minister of Education, while passing our documents to him, that Honourable Minister, you have a lot of work to do. Of course, we want to acknowledge that the Honourable Minister of Education had met with us 3 times, and that community
issue of educating our children. Interestingly, the House is holding a special session today, and that's all we're debating for the whole day on the issue of out-of-school children. We have tried severally to avert strikes in this country in the last few months, and we have been successful at it. The medical strike, electricity strike, and the House has intervened, and we have been able to come to some kind of resolution. I believe this is what has emboldened us with a deep sense of responsibility to once again try and intervene in this very, very important sector, which is the education sector. It honestly does not speak well of a country where it becomes almost perennial, that at every point, every turn, there's one strike or the other, somebody's holding somebody to ransom. I think it's time we rise above that and think of our children. Because they say when two elephants fight, so it's often the grass that suffers. Education is the front burner of our legislative agenda, and we will do all that we can to make sure that we situate it and place it rightfully where it should be. Let me very quickly address, I think there are basically two issues here. The issue of the agreements and the issue of IPPIS. But let me first address the issue of legal notice, which I think the Honourable Minister of Labour may be right. He's probably right. If the law says you give 15 days notice, then the law is not there to be broken. You must give 15 days notice. But that's as far as our rightness goes. But let's look at the practicality. So, assuming that even ASUU says, okay, you know what? We'll hold. We'll now serve you with a formal 15 days notice. What does that do? All it does basically is to delay the inevitable. It does not in any way avert the strike. We're only just kicking the can further down the road. So I don't think we should go to the legality of the, even though I agree with you. It has come, we're here. I think we should just deal with it and knock it out. On the issue of agreements, honestly, honorable ministers, and I speak to us even in the National Assembly as well, agreements are not meant to be, when we hear this all the time in every sector. When an agreement gets to a point where government's agreement is not worth the paper it is written on, then we have a problem. There has to be something called sanctity of agreements. It is, we cannot register for it. Assume, for a minute, just think about this. Assuming that the National Assembly was supposed to be captured in this, and the National Assembly and legislators and gave good reasons too, that, oh, we're an arm of government, oh, we're this, oh, we're supposed to be independent, we don't want to be captured. What would the public say about the National Assembly, including you, ASUU? You'll be the first to jump on us. And I believe what is good for the goose is good for the gander. There has to be equal application of the law. ASUU can come up with a good reason and say we cannot be captured. The moment government accedes to that, I can assure you that other associations will come up with, and even with even better reasons than you, why they themselves cannot be captured. Then what happens? We have defeated government policy, well-intended policy. There is something I think we should very seriously think about. On your argument that there is no country in the world where the academic union, this is applicable to the academic union. What I would say to you is every policy has to be tailored to the environment and to the realities of that country. There are laws in all these other countries that you say that is necessary there, but not workable here in Nigeria. It's not one cap fits all. Unless we want to deny the truth to ourselves, we know there's corruption in every area of this country, including ASUU. Let me indict, including National Assembly, including the executive, including the labor union. So I think it would be wrong to say because it doesn't happen in some other country, it should not happen in Nigeria. Nigeria has its peculiarities, and we must accept those peculiarities and deal with them rather than run away from that problem. So I want us to think very seriously about the issue of IPPIS. Like I said, I totally disagree with government on the issue of agreements and violating agreements willy-nilly, or even if there was a reason, I would have expected that government would have been in touch with you to tell you, look, we had this agreement, but this is what is going on. Please bear with us. Give us a little bit more time. And I don't know that you have been sufficiently in conversations with the National Assembly that has the power of the purse, because I think part of your grudge is that your allowances and whatever has not been catered for. We just passed the budget. I'm not sure if you were in sufficient contact with your committee that could have made a case based on the agreement, based on all these documents, that could have made a case that no, we have to include the allowances as stipulated in this agreement in the budget. And I'm sure that would have been done. And it would have been difficult for government to say the National Assembly was wrong in putting that in the budget. I want to appeal to you. We successfully dealt with the issue of the medical strike. We successfully dealt with the issue of electricity. We must successfully deal with this. We cannot go on like this. I know government is ready and willing to listen to you. And I want you to be able to listen to government as well. There's a 2 p.m. meeting, as you stated. If it's practicable, I think the chairman, tertiary education, should also be in attendance at that meeting. Yes. Yes. Should also be in attendance at that meeting. Yes. So that in future, it won't be a question of hearsay. It will be a question of, if the chairman is there, the National Assembly is there. And we will want whatever agreement that is reached to now at this point, so it won't be a secret agreement, but a public document for the whole world. We will publish it if you don't. And then we'll know that honestly, Prof, that you guys have gone the extra mile to accommodate, not government, but to accommodate the children that you teach. I know it's often said that your reward is in heaven, but I think things have changed. things have changed, you know. So please, we call this meeting as a peace-making effort to try and look for solutions, and lasting solutions too. We will address all the issues at the level of the National Assembly. Give us the opportunity. We've never been involved in your negotiations, never. Maybe this time there'll be a difference. Give us the opportunity to be a part of your negotiations with government. You're lucky that you have a Minister of Labor that is a comrade, not once. He was always on your side when he was practicing, and he still is. Because we've had private conversations. It's just a question of us listening to each other. It's not a fight. It's not a fight. So please look at the area of IPPIS, and if government is able to accommodate your fears, Prof, if government is able to accommodate your fears in the area of IPPIS, then let's work it that way so that Nigerians will know that ASUU It's part of IPPIS. They're not hiding anything. But those fares and those foreign workers or foreign professors that you said will also be taken care of. Will also be taken care of without affecting your own government policy. So please, and government, please, once there's an agreement, it's actually almost embarrassing that there's an agreement. We're talking about the 2009 agreement. An agreement that is over 10 years old. You know, if other sectors come now and the government says they want to come to an agreement, they say, no, your agreement is not, no, that's not, that's not good. I want to believe that, and I'm appealing to ASUU, please. I'm really appealing to you. The National Assembly is appealing to you. If we can hold off, take the high moral ground, and say, for the sake of our children, we'll call this off for the next 2 weeks. Let's see what we can agree. It's an interim thing. We're not saying call it off permanently. It's an interim thing. Let's see what we can achieve. Yes, one-on-one with the National Assembly. So it's a tripartite agreement now. It's a tripartite agreement. Yes. So please, I mean, give us that opportunity and give us that confidence to be able to deal with this situation so that our children do not. In other climes now, they're closing schools based on coronavirus. Let it not be said that we're closing schools based on disagreement within government and ASUU. So I thank you very much once again for coming.